I did make the muffin tins a little bit fuller than I did in the batch that flopped on me. Good afternoon, and welcome to Hershberger's Miracle Homestead. I'm glad that you are joining me in the kitchen today. We're going to be making the sugar-free apple muffins that we had mentioned earlier, and then I'm also going to be making supper, and I'll let you in on what I'm making for that later. And Martha also has sourdough bread on the way, so she'll be baking that after I'm finished with the apple muffins. And you may notice that we still have applesauce sitting on the side over here. We haven't gotten that put away yet. We want to do some reorganization and decided it's no need to move it twice. So it's sitting on the countertop for the time being. For the apple muffins, we of course will be needing apples. They'll be grated apples. And then we have oatmeal, milk, vanilla, cinnamon, baking powder, flour, and this is gentle sweet. It's a sweetener of my choice. It's a mixture of erythritol and stevia. And then unsweetened applesauce and olive oil. So we will get busy with this. We'll be moving some of these to the side. We won't be needing those right away. First thing on the agenda will be to get our apples peeled and grated. I don't know what the weather is like in the area that you're from, but here it has turned colder. We were sorry to see our first real cold snap come about 10 days ago. That was the first that we had any frost too, but it came with a cold and a wind. Our green beans, Martha was able to protect them from the frost, but not the cold. So we didn't lose the actual beans that were on the plant, but the blooms that were still coming, we lost those. So I think yesterday she brought the last of our green beans in. Before the cold snap came, Martha had gone out thrift store shopping and found ottomans for our dogs. And they were so excited to have their ottomans changed out. And we do have blankets in there too, but we usually have to tie them to something so they don't pull them out through the doggy doors. But we like to know that our dogs are comfortable too. The recipe calls for a cup of grated apples, and I have that here already, but I like plenty of apples, so I'm going to go ahead. I have a half apple here yet, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in yet too. Okay, we'll put our apples in here, and I'll just dump these in yet too. Here we have the apples. 1½ cups of oatmeal, 1½ cup of milk, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, we're going to give this a mix. Okay, so we'll let this set for 20 minutes. And then we have the flour, cinnamon, baking powder, and the gentle sweet. Put that together. Mix these together. Okay. So we'll see you after a while. Okay, well, we are doing a bit of a redo here, I guess you could say. It is after supper. The bread has been baked. But the first batch of apple muffins that I put together You recall I added extra apples, and I think I may have been just a little shy on the flour too. So that combination did not bode well. Here is what I got. These apple muffins will be eaten. They are delicious, but they are a little bit denser than what they normally are. And I think it came from the extra apples and maybe being a little bit shy on the flour. So I started over because I do want a nice apple muffin to show you. So here we have, in the mixer, we have the apples, the oats, the milk, and the vanilla, and they have set for 20 minutes. And so we're going to continue on from here. And it is the right amount of apples. No extra apples this time. Get this a little bit of a mix. And then we will add the unsweetened applesauce and the olive oil. And give this a mix. Okay, and now we will add the dry ingredients. And this time I also decided that I'm going to do some with the muffin papers and some without. So let me get them sprayed. I did fill the muffin tins a little fuller. I made only 15 muffins rather than 18 like I had in the batch that flopped. Oh yes, these are as they should be. They are lovely. Much better than the first batch. I do prefer the paper wrappers. It seemed the sides got a little darker on those that did not have the paper wrappers. So yummy. Now let's move on to our supper. Okay, we're ready to get supper started. The other night we had roast beef and mashed potatoes and gravy and carrots. And so we have leftover roast beef and we have some good broth. So we're going to be making roast beef and gravy over rice and steamed broccoli is what we're going to be having for supper tonight. So I'll put the broth in here and get this heated. I just love when I have our own beef broth or chicken broth. I'll add some salt to this. That's about empty. And a little pepper. After it's boiling, we will be thickening it with cornstarch and water, and then we'll be adding the roast beef to it after that. I better put a wooden spoon over it in case it gets to boiling before I get back. You know, this time of year, thinking of Thanksgiving, which is it? Is it that happy people are grateful? Or is it that grateful people are happy? You know, having an attitude of gratitude makes a huge difference. We don't have to be happy in all the circumstances that we find ourselves in, but we can still find joy. We're back again. The broth is boiling, so we need to get going with that. Just finished up the broccoli. Oh, doesn't that look so good? I love steamed broccoli. Okay, and I have the rice going. All right, so now we're going to thicken this with cornstarch and water. I don't really measure. I just kind of eyeball it. I think that'll probably do it. If not, you can always add more. Okay, and then we'll add some water to this. This is a favorite whisk of mine. There's another one we have that Martha prefers. We're alike in so many ways and yet so different in other ways.
Amen.
Okay, let me see what that looks like. With cornstarch, you always want to bring it to another boil. Yeah, I think that's about right. I better turn this burner down. I forgot about that. Yes, that's looking good. Okay, now I will get the meat ready. As I mentioned, this is the leftover roast beef that we had, and I don't want to use it all because we like roast beef sandwiches. Put this meat on sourdough bread. Oh, that is so good. Probably wouldn't have to chop it up too much, but makes it nicer for Buddy that his meat is already cut. Okay, that looks like a nice amount. Let's put that in once and see what it looks like. Oh yes, I think that'll do. Let that simmer a little. Get cleaned up a little bit here. And now we're going to put our supper together. This is what the roast beef and gravy looks like. So yummy. Thank you, Martha. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Here we have it, roast beef and gravy and steamed broccoli. So we're ready to chow down now. Hope you have a good supper tonight too, wherever you are. We appreciate each of you. Thank you for giving a thumbs up, for subscribing and sharing our videos, and also for shopping through our Amazon link. May God bless you for the encouragement you are to us. And now we invite you to stay tuned for the Golden Thought.
Hi, and I welcome you to the Golden Thought of this episode. I'm Martha, and I'm here with my very, very special brother, my twin brother Marvin, who's better known as Buddy. And the Golden Thought for today: through life we find ourselves in many situations. So this covers a number of moments where we find ourselves and what to do. In happy moments, praise God. In difficult moments, seek God. In quiet moments, worship God. In painful moments, trust God. In every moment, thank God. So it covers a wide variety of different situations that we find ourselves in and how to react to it and how to respond to it. And with that, we'll bring this episode to a close. God bless. Say, man. All right, buddy.